Good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Future Is Now. Well, as you can see, someone from our set is not with us this morning. Pastor Chris had a conflict today, but we want you to know that his heart is with us as we have our presentation today. And I am just so thankful to be able to be here in his place and in our place to be able to talk about great things that are going on in our community. This is indeed the day the Lord has made, and we're choosing in spite of the smoke, the fog, the heat, whatever's going on in your life right now. We're going to rejoice in the God that we serve. Well, as you know, I am Bishop Crystal and officially welcome once again. And I am so glad today to be able to present to you two outstanding young ladies that are doing great work in our community. Our theme this time, we talk about the future is now, and we can't wait until tomorrow to get ready for tomorrow. The time to get ready for tomorrow is now. And as I pastor New Zion Tabernacle, I always challenge our members to do something different. In fact, several years ago, I encouraged them to learn something new, start a new initiative. And we continually do that at New Zion. Well, one of the things that we did several years ago was we started a health and wellness ministry. I remember one day I was preaching, and as I was preaching, the Lord just had me just kind of take a look at our congregation. And he said, I want you to begin to minister body, soul, and spirit. So, not just that spiritual aspect, but because we are trichotomous in nature and because we're looking at body, soul, and spirit in our development, we need to make sure that we're ministering to the total person. So, ta-da, what do? We started the Health and Wellness Ministry of New Zion Tabernacle, and we had many people around the table. We developed a gym in our fellowship hall. There were a lot of things that we began to put in place as it relates to us being healthy and that whole concept of wellness. Well, one thing we decided to do was we decided to talk about diet. We talked about what we eat. So we wrote a grant called the Heal Grant, and we were able to have classes and to be able to navigate that journey. And even though, and this is a lesson for all of us too, even though God gave me the vision, we also know that without people, the vision perishes. So I was so blessed to have people to come alongside and say, yes, let's do this. And not only did they do this, but they took it to a new level and expanded their team. So I'd like to welcome to the set today our own minister, Debbie
Good
Powers,
morning.
and her partner in love, I should say, as they work this ministry together, Duanita Trotter.
Good
And we're
morning.
going to talk about, just kind of greet everybody right now before we get started with our lesson today.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, good morning. Like you said, I'm Debbie, and um, I'm the Ministry of Hospitality at New Zion. And coming to New Zion was a blessing for me, considering my background in health and wellness. I spent 35 years as a Weight Watcher coach at Weight Watchers International. So I come from a long line of education as far as healthy eating. And coming to New Zion and then Pastor's vision of the health and wellness program gave me an opportunity to continue that and getting involved with Heal. So I've always, from an early age, had an interest in healthy eating, healthy lifestyle. So this just gave me a platform to continue that. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the things that we're going to be doing in the future, the things that we're already doing right now. So I'm looking forward to more to come.
All right. And Duanita Trotter, welcome to the set.
Well, thank you. Well, my name is Duanita Trotter. I have been in the food service about 30 plus years. So
Wow.
when they did start the class, I said, wow, this is the way to learn different things. I was excited and I was glad to have the classes because Deb taught me a lot of things that I never even dreamed about eating to
Mm.
make me feel healthy. So that was a great start for me. And then one day we just say, what else can we do? And
Love it. Love
and the
it.
next thing we know, we have not stopped yet.
uh, and not only have they not stopped, but the ministry has expanded to the point that they now have their own business.
Yeah.
And we call them D&D at New Zion Tabernacle. That certainly has been a blessing. And I can remember, I want to talk a little bit about the cooking classes,
Okay.
first of all, and then what we have next on the horizon
Okay.
as far as that. But I want to say this before they start. When we look at our diet and being healthy, there's a way that we have traditionally cooked our food, if you know what I'm talking
Right.
about. Well, my connection with these ladies has certainly changed the way I prepare food. I remember one of the menus it called for collard greens,
Yes,
which
yes.
happens to be my favorite kind of green.
Yes.
Yes.
But it was prepared totally different. I said, I don't know if I'm going to like this, but I ended up loving it. So it was just a matter of just changing the way we think about food, and certainly change the way we think about eating. And when with all of the diseases that are just rampant within our community right now, we need to hear what these ladies have to say. So talk to us a little about the journey, about the Heal Grant, about the kinds of meals you've provided, and opportunities even for young people to get involved in this aspect of ministry.
Okay. Okay, well, with the whole heal process, and when I was introduced, Bishop introduced us to the person that was in charge of the heal program, just even taking that education. And I, growing up in the family and looking at the way they were eating, I was always concerned about that. But it's the whole push of just trying to get people, like Bishop said, to try new ways. And that was one of the things about the HEAL program, trying to get people open. I know that's the way you always cooked it, and we have this attitude about it's not going to taste good. But the one thing about the HEAL program, we found out from the surveys that the people who came through that program did learn how to eat foods different way and end up loving that type of food. We also had an opportunity this fall to work with another organization here in Fort Wayne, which asked us, would we mind piloting a cooking class for youth to teach them how to eat healthy? So we did it. It was a lot of fun, like working with the kids, and kids are really difficult in trying to get them to change the way they eat. But we made it,
You're kidding.
yeah. So we made it fun for them, and actually it was done during Black History Week. So we wanted to take some traditional things that kids ate, that they eat, and try to put a Black history theme on it. But at the same time, through that process, we were teaching them Black history and told them history about that food and why their ancestors ate that food and that type of thing. So,
so there's an educational piece.
It was an educational piece in it. So it was
yes.
an educational piece in it. We educated them about it, the history of it. They actually got to cook it. They got to make it their own. And they had a lot of fun with it. So then after that, I went to Bishop and said, hey, we should try to have a cooking class for kids. So this August, my partner and I, we're going to offer a cooking class called Parent and Me. So what we're going to do is roll out a cooking class for elementary school kids. And what we wanted to do is also, we hear so much about kids and parents not having time to bond. So part of the class is that there has to be an adult with the kid, a parent or someone, so they can bond during that time of cooking versus just dropping the kids off and then coming back to get them. Because I also think that by doing that, it actually, two things will happen. We're going to educate the kids, but we'll also be able to educate the parents and the adult about healthy eating. So it's kind of a sneaking in the back door way to get parents and adults to learn to get to eat healthy.
Okay. One of the things that, I'm sorry, Duanita,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Well, we also was thinking about the obesity that they said that the kids are one that's sweet. Just trying to figure out a different approach for them to stay away from the sweet as much. Just back up just
Healthier
a little bit.
food choices.
Obesity, right? Especially in the school right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the mechanics behind the scenes of things that we've learned. For example, like now, I remember you guys teach us how to hold our knives. And
Yes,
I've been holding
cutting.
a certain way, but now there's a certain way you hold a knife for a more effective cutting. And I've been doing that too. but especially now, I think about the lessons that you guys have taught us about how to wash our vegetables.
Exactly.
And when I think about what's happening now, even with this virus that's going on or going around on lettuce. So talk to us a little about some of those kinds of learnings and things that people can really begin to do at home.
Okay. So the first thing is that people just need to kind of use common sense, especially when you buy produce. I actually work at a grocery store, which I'm grateful for even with this ministry, because Kroger's has helped me a lot to reach out to the ministry and getting food to people, and they've done some wonderful things too in educating people as far as food. But right now, the one thing I would say to the community is, when you take produce home, even if it looks beautiful and clean in the store, you need to still wash it. So just using some common sense. one of the biggest things that I was taught with one particular food that a lot of our community eat is watermelon. So the one thing you need to do, you need to wash it when you bring it home. Wash all that dirt off of it. When you cut it, when you cut through it, make sure you have a clean knife. But every time you take it out, you need to wash the knife again, because if you don't, it's still hitting that dirt.
Wow.
So that is the reason why we get so much bacteria, because people don't use common sense sometimes when it comes to that. Even your bananas, wipe them off. Everything, wipe it off before you actually start to use it, and before you put it in the refrigerator. Because like I said, I work in a food service environment, so I see a lot. So just to keep people healthy, keep kids healthy and safe, just wash everything.
I know that you guys have done the training. I think it's called Safe Serve or something
Safe
like
Serve,
that.
yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about what all that includes, because there might be tips that families could use right at home.
I'm gonna let Miss Duanita answer that.
Self-service, like making sure you have the correct temperature of your food. Because if you don't, so your food can make you sick. Also, even though you think it's fully cooked, it might not be.
Yes.
So you always have to check your food, make sure it's up to temp. And then you also want to make sure that, like Deb said, everything is in order. Everything is clean. Everything is set up the way it need to be. Make sure that your hands yourself is clean. Make sure you wash. And if you're doing something like with meat, I recommend that you put on some kind of gloves, because that would help that keep some of that bacteria from your food. And when you season it, make sure you take your gloves off from the top, where your gloves will fold over your hands. That way you're not cross-contaminating. And just use common sense and be careful with what you do.
So do you need several pair of gloves if you're doing different kinds of?
Yes.
I would
foods, or
suggest
what?
you do it if you're messing with fruit or you're messing with vegetables
And
or
meat,
meat.
when you switch to meat.
And then you also have that, a lot of people don't know it, and they probably wouldn't think about doing it. Like if you're messing with meat and you want to cut your meat, how they say, make it cook faster, you're supposed to use like a special knife, like a red handle knife that separates, and that's the only thing that is used for is that meat.
It's same with your cutting board.
For nothing else.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of cutting boards,
board,
talk about that, because
right.
there's a lot of research out there that I've been hearing about.
You need to separate your cutting board. Actually, I take a Sharpie and I write meat.
Oh,
so other people in the household can know this cutting board is only used for meat. So you need to make sure you have a veggie cutting board, meat cutting board. For my food brushes, if I'm going to brush meat with a brush, I write meat on it, because I'm a vegetarian.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't want people using that meat brush on my vegetables.
Right.
Even though they wash it, just the whole thought of that process. That's another thing is too. And back to the gloves, and everyone knows me if they've worked with me. One of my biggest pet peeves, which I see everywhere in the food industry, that a lot of people get sick. We are so connected to our cell phones. People will have on gloves, touch their cell phone, and then they go back to preparing food. Do you know the cell phone is one of the dirtiest items in the world?
Wow.
I see people drop it in the bathroom and everything. Yes, and money. So, if you, for your personal safety in your household, if you stop to answer the cell phone, change your gloves. It's only going to take a second to do that, or let the cell phone ring or wash your hands. Yeah, that's very important.
So when we're eating out, what do we look for? Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm probably a bad person to ask, because I am in the food service. I'm looking for everything. I'm looking at utensils. I'm looking at the servers. I'm looking at everything. When you go out to dinner, you need to check your utensils. Everyone, the dishwashers, they sometimes do a good job, sometimes they don't. But you want to definitely send back those utensils. They're not clean. Look at your plate or whatever. If you're not comfortable with the server when they bring your stuff, you need to question it, because it's your safety, and you want to be safe when you're eating.
Okay.
For sure.
One of the things that I always say, or often say at church, is that if no one else can do your job, you have not done your job. We want to make sure that what we're doing is perpetual, and that it's life-giving and life-forming and life-transforming. And so when I approached Debbie and we had the conversation about her being over this aspect of our ministry, she took the charge. After all, it was something she was already doing anyway. It's like the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. But that means you already see those wife potentials in that person. Well, I already saw that great potential in Debbie. And so when I approached her, she was all for it. And she's a hardworking lady and she was just laboring. And then all of a sudden, I see her doing this kind of scoop thing. So she starts scooping people up and scooping people up. In fact, she's scooping somebody else up even right now. But Duanita has become
Yes.
a, a rose, a budding flower under the tutelage of Debbie.
Mhm.
So, in fact, I remember at our last award ceremony, I think she sang or she did something. I said, "Oh my gosh, is this Duanita?" She was really coming out, but it's given her the confidence to really soar. So, talk to us about that process, Debbie and Duanita, about how you empowered her and how you were able to pull her out of her shell, and now look at the
Oh,
amazing
wow.
I
things
know
she's
she
doing.
is.
Yes.
She's amazing. Just I got to know Danita, and I looked at her. At first, I approached her about helping with the heal class.
Uh-huh.
And the first class she helped me with, I went home and told my husband, I said, I think I found somebody who can get along with me in the kitchen. She's very accommodating. And the thing about it is that she normally let me do my thing. And I always say to her, she said, Deb, I can't see your vision right now, but just keep talking to me and we'll get to that point. But easy to work with. We can bounce things off of each other. And then when she came back for the second heal class, I said, this I think she's a keeper. So then we decided to do 4 years together of heal together. I tried to communicate with her everything that's going on, and it's funny how we got our name is because we're always in deep thought about what we do. So far as the cooking classes, so her niece Tania, she decided. She said, because we always telling people don't disturb us because we're thinking. So her niece said,
Yes.
D&D, do not disturb. So that's how we came up with D&D Ministry. So we decided to keep that name because we do a lot of preparing through concentrating, thinking about it, rolling things off each other to see how it works. And the one thing that I like is that when something doesn't work, she'll say, Deb, that didn't work. You know, how are we going to do it again next time? So we've built a wonderful relationship, and I'm always telling my husband, he always said, Denise, the best thing to happen to you. I've had other partners in the past, but it was always a conflict because I'm a kind of strong-willed person. Like I have a vision, and I just want to get that vision across. And I've been like that since a child. My mother said, but just to have somebody to come alongside you,
Right,
and
yes,
give you a
yes,
chance
yes.
to do that, and
Yeah,
she's absolutely
okay.
done that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as her student, Duanita.
Well, Deb has become a blessing to me. I was the person to sit at home, did nothing after I got off from work. And I did go to the classes, and I did enjoy the classes very much because I kept coming and coming. And she will teach you things, and she will try it. You don't know until you try it. So when she cook up something, she expects you to try it at least once. You don't like it, then don't do it again. But with Deb, I truly have to say that she has been a big help in my life to keep me moving. She keep me motivated. I think like, why she want me? we just clicked, and she's a blessing to me, and I'm glad God put her in my life.
You know, and as a pastor, I always looked at Duanita as just as kind of quiet,
She is
unassuming,
quiet.
and more of an introvert. But I see her just blossoming more and more as the two of them are doing amazing things. So as a result of this humble beginning, God has just really opened up doors for you guys. I
Yes,
mean, I have to make an appointment now to see them. Does this fit in your schedule? Are we able to do this now?
Yeah.
So talk to our viewers today about what you guys are doing now and just the way the ministry has really grown.
Wow.
And you know what? The Do Not Disturb. That's the first time I've heard that
Yeah,
story.
I didn't know
I
you knew
I
that story.
I always thought it was D&D because of Debbie and Danita,
Yeah.
No,
but
do
now
not
oh
disturb. Do
gosh.
not disturb.
Third.
That's
You
our motto. Don't disturb
I just
us.
thought about D&D squared, but no, you don't want to do that. That'd be two D's and two D's.
Right.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
That's what I
but
came about.
thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that.
But
Okay.
I'm excited because I didn't think that just being a part of a ministry or church could also outreach into the community.
Mm.
Um, I work for Fort Wayne Community Schools. I continue the ministry through there, providing snacks and things for kids, and
Mhm.
I always try to make the teachers happy.
Yes.
Provide things
That's
for
important.
them.
Yes.
Yes, I try to, I give.
Mhm.
So I always I have this thing of
Mhm.
like giving. And I think because of giving, other people have kind of connected onto it. One of our biggest things that we didn't even notice that the community was watching was that we were approached by the NAACP state
Yes.
president, Miss Sadie Hopper Scott.
Mhm.
She noticed our work, so she asked that if we wanted to
Mhm.
help with their conference that they had in Fort
Mhm.
Wayne last year. So it gave us a different outreach of an organization and being involved with helping, coordinate that with her. So that was an exciting
Mhm.
experience. So we've had other groups. We've even had people from the community who've asked us to do private repasts
Yes.
in their
Yes.
home. They're not
Uh-huh.
even part of the ministry, but they
Right.
just heard about it. And actually, I have two mothers who already booked me for their daughters' graduations that are not even to 2 or 3 years from now.
Wow.
They said just in
Wow.
case I give
Amazing.
up the
Yes.
ministry, they wanted to already be booked
Uh-huh.
to have us to
Wow.
do that.
And not only, I want to talk about one other thing, but not only do they do an excellent job as far as food prep, and I want to say too that if it's to go, they prepare meals to go as well, so everything isn't like on site.
Right.
But the excellence that they exude, even in preparation and decoration, oh my
That's another.
goodness.
Yes.
These ladies can turn a hall that's totally bland and lifeless looking into a garden of God. So talk to us a little bit about, what you're thinking around that. How do you do that?
I let that be Deb's.
Well,
That usually be Deb's vision, and I have to follow along and
she does
let
a good
her.
But it's beautiful.
Let her do her.
Yes.
Because if you don't let her do her, we will never get done.
Oh.
So we just come together as one at the end, and it just turns out really nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the thing is that I don't know if Bishop even know this. Years ago, I used to be a party planner.
Uh-huh.
I was a wedding planner, a party planner. So I actually own my own business that some people in Fort Wayne know was called D's Unbelievable Touch. So
okay.
in D's Unbelievable Touch, it was called that because I got that name because people were amazed by what Bishop said. I created something called walk-in parties, which worked well for some time. People would call me and say, I want to have a 50th birthday party for my husband, but I don't want to do anything. I don't want to pick out the colors. I don't want to pick out the food. I don't even want to pick out the place. I want you to do everything. So they would just walk in with the guests to this event. I've done it for baby showers, same thing. People don't want to do anything.
Right.
So I had a catering service that was called that. And that's how my decoration skills came into place because I always wanted to make it look like something that no one else had done before. So I just ended up transferring that to the ministry. I have all kind of toys. So I try to, I think of the theme, I think of the person, and that's where we go with it. We get the color, the theme, the person, and that's where we go with that.
And they do a beautiful job. I want to talk about, I know we have a few minutes left here, but I want to talk a little bit about just that whole empowerment piece because I think it's so important. And I know in our ministry, a part of our mission statement is that we really want people to maximize their divine potential so they can have an impact in everyday living. And I think these ladies have certainly done that. So, what could you say to somebody that might be watching us right now, and they have a dream, they have a vision? How would they start? As you look at their bent, what they're already doing, and what advice can you give them as well as being a learner to be able to launch their next step, their next vision?
I would say if you have a passion for it, sometimes it's scary, but I've had this passion since I was a child. I always wanted to own an event hall for
Mm.
some reason. I just love, my passion is to make people happy, to
Yes.
make people feel good. So I'm always doing things to do that. So I took baby steps by doing different things. So, if you have a dream, and we all know that sometimes it's scary. I went to a conference yesterday about metamorphosis, how you have to come out of the cocoon. Sometimes it's scary, but then when you come out, you turn to something beautiful. So, and I think of Miss Duanita's that. She
Yes,
came out of
yes.
her cocoon,
Yes.
turned out to be something beautiful. So,
Yes,
sometimes,
uh-huh.
and then sometimes you have to find someone to take along with you on your dream to
Yes,
help.
yes.
Because sometimes you have a dream and there's so much going on, you start to doubt your dream. But then when you meet someone like Miss Duanita, they bring that back that, hey, this is what I really do want to do. So it's just taking that chance. And the most I'll just continue to pray about asking and seeking God to help you and make sure you're making the right choices. And before I do anything, and I always tell Bishop, I talk to God first.
Yes.
This is what God has shown
Yes,
me.
yes.
This is what He want me to do. And sometimes it's hard because coming from a Christian background, I'm trying to tell my customer, no, this is where we want to go.
Right.
And then sometimes it's a lesson learned that, oh, I should have listened to her. Because sometimes God actually helps me to see the vision before it's actually there.
That is so true. And that whole prep season. When I think about, well, Duanita, let me hear you share first.
My thought on that is, if you have a vision, write it down.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
good.
Write it
Yeah.
down. Look at it every day. Look at it. I can do this.
Yes.
I'm going to have to believe in myself
Yes.
before I can believe in anybody else.
Yes.
And once you
yes.
take that step in believing in you, there's no force or anything will stop you from doing what you truly want to do for yourself.
When I look at these ladies, I definitely see greatness. And I think about what the Bible tells us about how to be great. And Jesus tells us that the one that is the greatest is the servant of all. And both of these ladies certainly possess a servant mindset. So it takes a great sense of humility, sometimes swallowing our own ego, our own thoughts, our own desires to be of service. So when I look at what they do and I think about how they have served me personally, we do birthdays every month because of this team. There's so many things that we're able to do and really accentuate our own congregation because of these ladies, but their desire just to serve. So talk to us for just a few minutes about just what has that servant mindset done for you. I'm looking at doors that are opening even now, with this next opportunity that's coming down the tube, things that they're doing in our community and also throughout our state. So remember now that if I want to be great, just be willing to serve. How do you convince yourself, yes, I'm going to serve?
Just being humble.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is being humble. Actually, I always feel humble when I'm able to serve and help people.
Yes.
Just the fact that making people feel good, and I think people start to see that and they recognize that. So that would be the one word that I would use. Just from all this is being humble.
Yeah.
And I always tell people I'm not into this for show or fashion. If anybody know me, I don't like to be recognized in the public because I don't. Because what I do it from my heart. It's all from the heart. I don't need a lot of fanfare. I would my best place is behind the curtain. For years, I have learned to make other people look good. If you're my friend, I will make you look good. I will do everything behind the scene and you will look good. And I don't want you to pull the curtain back.
But you know what, Deb? This year, God has pulled
I
the
know
curtain
it.
back.
God
has
back.
pulled the curtain.
God put
If you're great and you choose to serve, God will pull the curtain back. So tell us what happened this year. Some major things happened
I
for you
know
this year.
it's just too much.
Yes.
I told my husband too much is going on. I was one of the unsung hero. I had unsung hero award. I was one of Fort Wayne Community Schools finalists. In October, I'm going to be recognized by the Davises at their With This Ring I Do Wear. So there's a lot other things, but I never thought that's what would happen because I guess I'm so humble because when I was growing up under leadership of James W. Bledsoe, he always told us that you will get your gift at the end, that God will recognize all the good you did. So that's, it's just here that servant well done. That's all I want. So, thank you to Fort Wayne for all the recognition. I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Duanita?
Mine's is nothing like Deb's. But
Yet.
I
Yet.
yet
Yet.
okay, I will put the yet on that.
Uh-huh.
But I think of myself as I don't have to really be seen. I'm there, and if Deb need me, I'm there for her. And I guess that's the way we just do it. She called me. I got an idea. I was like, what is that idea? I said, oh, we've been asked to do this. And I said, okay, well, just give me the date and time, and I'll be there for you.
So. You will.
And as their pastor, I've certainly appreciated their flexibility. I don't think there's anything that I've asked them to do that somehow they weren't able to accomplish, but their willingness to serve. And I guess I want to leave you with that, because there is something in all of us, whether it's embedded in our ego, our DNA, our spirit, that we want to be seen, we want to be valued. But the Bible, and I won't say but, and the Bible clearly tells us, do not be weary in doing well, for in due season you'll reap if you don't faint. And these women certainly have not fainted. They have not backed up from the call of God upon their lives. And they're doing a great work. It's like Nehemiah, and they're not coming down. They're going up higher and higher and higher. And so I want to encourage someone else that whatever your dream might be, just lay it before the Lord. I love what Duanita said about writing the vision, making it plain, because when you write something, now you are engaging more of you, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. You're adding even that motor aspect of it as you begin to take the pen to paper. So write the dream, revisit the dream, and don't give up on your dream. And as you can see, these ladies are not teenagers.
Not by no.
Nor am I. But we have worked, and they have worked diligently, and it's almost like payday is coming. And we can see more and more of what God has for them. So sometimes we say, well, God, I'm waiting on you. But what are you doing while you wait? Our wait as a believer is an active wait. So what am I doing? I am preparing. I am researching. I am learning. I am taking my own education personally, because I know that God has great things yet to come. But if I work today and I plant the seed today, tomorrow will be harvest time. And we're approaching Harvest Church. It's a time now for us to look at the seeds that we planted and begin to really dream and envision our next as well. There's a space in the middle called transition, and I call that our place of cognitive dissonance, where we're beginning now to make the transition to really be who God's called us to be. So yes, this is the future is now. It is now. And we want to prepare now for our next, because tomorrow it'll be too late. We don't want to wait until tomorrow. We got to work while it's day, for when night comes, no man can work. So I'd like to thank our guests today, Debbie and Duanita.
Thank you.
D&D, and it doesn't mean Deb and Duanita. We learned that today. But we want you to have a prosperous day. Dream big, dream large, because that which God has for you is so huge. Right now, you feel like I can't even grip it, but it's like eating that elephant one bite at a time, one day at a time, because your future is now. God bless you today. Go in peace.